Yes, in today's class we'll talk about NTP. NTP is a basically network time protocol. Why it is used? It is used to synchronize the network devices time with the computer system. Whatever the network we have one specific time. If we have a different network devices, if we set the time manually, it will still not be the same. It will be mismatched, maybe minutes and seconds. So in the network device, it's very important to have a synchronized time, so that if we collect the log in some places for analysis, it is related to that same only. So we have to have a same time stamp. For example, for configuring the time NTP, we have to have a one NTP server. There are many servers available in the internet also, we can use that, but obviously if we open this, if we use public server, it may be the security issues, because we have to enable the ports. NTP uses basically port number 123, and we have to enable that port in our firewall to make the access of this NTP server, and then our devices can sync. So this may be the security issues. So to overcome this problem, we can have our own NTP server. So if we have our NTP server, we can connect our network devices. For example, we have this router, and I will take one more network device called as switch, and then I connect this maybe together just with the help of the network cable. I have taken any device, no issues, but here I have to have one server also. So this server we can connect to our network, which will be acting as a NTP server. Okay, but this router is down. I can use only one device as well, but I want to sync with my router also. So I have to configure this router interface, gig interface first. Let's configure this interface IP address. Enable configure terminal. The IP what I am going to use here in my device is just say 192.168.1.1 is my router, and 192.168.1. Say 5 is my switch, and 192.168.1.10 is my server. This server I am going to use is my its server is going to be NTP server, and also we will be creating the same as a TFTP server, but I will configure this gig 0 first. Okay, interface gig 0/0 and IP address 1.1 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. Okay, this link should be up now. This is up. This port is in the spanning tree. But if you think, for example, if I want to connect this switch to my server as well, so this switch also should have an IP address. So I have to define this IP also in the switch. So I will go to the switch interface now. Enable interface, configure terminal, interface VLAN 1, IP address 192.168. Say 1.5 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. Okay, this IP is configured to my switch as well. Okay, let's try to check the connectivity. 192.168.1.1. I am connected to my router. First time it shares 80%, but next time it is 100%. The ping is successful. Okay, I also configure IP for my TFTP server. 192.168.1.10. Okay, this IP is configured. If you check here connectivity for your server also should ping, maybe the port is pinging again. So I am able to ping all the devices each other, but I want to sync this device with this my server. If I go to my switch, if you check here, show clock. See, this clock is old clock, this is not synchronized. This is my router. If I go to switch also, show clock, we can use manual command clock set, but this is not recommended for network devices. It should sync, so we have to use the system time. Okay, I will, for example, I will configure this server as a NTP server. If you check here in the server, in the services, there is a NTP service. Yes, is an NTP service is there. See, this is NTP is on. NTP is on. See, this time July 26 July 2003 5:11. It is correct time. So this time will sync to the devices, our network devices, router and switches both. Okay, this is already on, but this IP I have to configure to my network device. If I go to my switch here, I will say configure terminal, and NTP, we want to configure NTP server, and I have to give NTP server IP address 192.168.1.10. That's it. If I show you show NTP status, it will show you NTP status is unsynchronized. It will show, it will take some time, but it will sync. This switch already configured. I will go to my router. If I show you here show NTP status, it will say it is not enabled. Again I will configure here config T and NTP server 192.168.1.10. Yeah, we have configured. Now we can ping together. I also configure here NTP server. I will go to the check here also. This is NTP server is configured. Okay, but if I show you here again show NTP status, see, this is also saying unsynchronized, not synchronized. But if I go to previous device, if I use here,
but what's the purpose of NTP?
NTP to make the time synchronized. See, this one is synchronized now, but this
is same as clock.
It will arrange, it will manage the clock, it will synchronize the clock with my server. All network devices time will be, if you see this time now, before we check this time, what is the time now? See, 1993. If you check now, this is synchronized. If you see, this is synchronized. If you check here, show clock, now see my time. This is July 26. So this is automatically sync with my server.
Okay.
Similarly, all the network devices, wherever we are configuring, this it is showing is not synced. It will take some time, but it will synchronize. It's still unsynced. If it's unsynced, yeah, I check the clock. It is old one only.
But so the clock is only between the router and server, not computers, right?
Not computer. We are computer clock is already set.
Yeah, but NTP is using for router and server.
For synchronizing the clock for the network devices, routers and switches especially. Yeah, maybe some other network device which need to sync, which cannot have its own time. We can set it manually by the server. So if we synchronize all the devices, the time will be synchronized and it will be same time stamp second by second. So if we collect some log in some server, so we'll see the time, the sequence is there. Otherwise, if time is not proper, we will not be able to see the log, which log comes first, which log comes later, will not be able to analyze. So this way time synchronize is done here. Okay. Similarly, it will also show you, just a minute. Still not synced. Unsynchronized. It will take some time. By that time, we will be configuring here the backup. What next is we will be configuring after this backup syslog. Syslog means we want to collect the logs in one console in our server. For example, if I have many network devices, if you configure something here, some interface going up and down, when you can see, when you are in the console. For example, if I connect something here and this interface, the one interface goes down, this message will come up. For example, I configure here config T, okay, interface loop back 0. I created one interface. See, this message appear here. This interface loop back 0 change to up. This message appears here, where in the console of the device. it message appear in the console, but if I am logged into the console only, then I can see, na. If I am logged in, if I am not logged in here, how I will see? I have many network devices, tens of switches are there, 2, 3, 4 routers are there. How I will see the message in every console? So this message I want to collect to my server. So this I will create a syslog server. The syslog server receives, categorize and store the log messages for analysis, maintaining a comprehensive view of what is going on everywhere on a network. Without this view, devices can malfunction unexpectedly, and outage can be hard to trace because network devices we are not monitoring. So if we configure here syslog, so we will see this message here in our server. For example, here the syslog service. If I enable syslog, there is no message coming, but service is on. But if I configure this server IP, what is this server IP? 192.1.1.10 as a syslog server here. So then they will start sending the message to this server. Okay, I will configure now. For example, just let me check once again. This is synchronized or not. Okay. Now see, it is synchronized. If you check here again clock, this clock is also now correct time. Okay, now I want to configure logging. My log server is on. I have to configure this IP in my network devices to configure as a log server. So then they will be sending message to my servers. Okay, go to the switch now. Configure terminal, logging. What next? IP address of a server. For example, 192.168.1.10. Okay, then go to, this is switch, go to router, configure terminal, logging 192.168.1.10.
So the logging is only for the server, huh?
For the network devices. It will collect to the server, yes. Because I created this log server. If any message appears here, okay, you go and check. I configure here both the places. This is 1, this is 5. Okay, go to the device now. See this log, syslog, still no message is here.
And how we create the message?
Just I will show you now. For example, whenever any message appears, it will come here. I will create now. For example, I connect one PC here, and this PC will make this port up FS024. This message appear here. See this message is here. Okay, go to this server. See this log by 5. Who is 5? 5 is my switch. What is the message? Check the message now. See, it is showing FS024 change to up. No need to go to the switch and see. If any port is going up and down, it will show me the messages here. See this change to up. So we can understand if I unplug the device. For example, if I disconnect this device again, just a minute.
So after you connect the computer to the server, will receive the message, right?
Yes, not only I connect. If anything happens, any message appear,